Have you ever wondered what would happen if you suddenly lost your job or had a major unexpected expense? Life, as we know it, is unpredictable. One day everything might be smooth sailing, and the next, you could find yourself grappling with sudden financial burdens. Imagine your car breaking down unexpectedly. You rely on it to get to work, to run errands, to live your daily life. But one day, it just stops running. The repair costs are high, and they're not something you budgeted for. Or consider a medical emergency, a sudden illness, or an accident that lands you or a loved one in the hospital. Medical bills can skyrocket before you know it, leaving you in a financial crunch. Life's unpredictability can throw us curveballs when we least expect them. The best way to deal with such situations is by being prepared, and one of the ways to do that is by having an emergency fund. Now you might ask, what exactly is an emergency fund? Well, imagine it as a financial safety net, a cushion of money that is specifically set aside to cover those unexpected financial surprises that life often throws our way. It's like having a lifeboat on your financial ship, ready to use when the waters get rough. An emergency fund is not a piggy bank for daily expenses, or a treasure chest for occasional splurges. No, it's more like an insurance policy for your finances. You don't dip into it to pay for a new pair of shoes or to cover your monthly Netflix subscription. It's there for the real emergencies. The sudden car repairs, the unexpected medical bills, the unforeseen home repairs, or even the abrupt job loss. It's important to remember that an emergency fund is not an investment. Its purpose is not to grow wealth or to fund your retirement. It is, in essence, self-insurance, a backup plan that helps you navigate those financial storms without sinking into debt. An emergency fund is your first line of defense against the unpredictable nature of life. It provides you with financial security, peace of mind, and a sense of control over your money no matter what life throws at you. So an emergency fund is a financial buffer that keeps you afloat in times of need. Well, having an emergency fund sounds like a good idea, but why is it really important, you might ask? Let's break it down. Firstly, an emergency fund is your financial safety net. It's that stash of money set aside to cover the financial surprises life throws your way. You know, those out-of-the-blue moments like a sudden job loss, unexpected medical bills, or a major car repair. Having this fund prevents these hiccups from turning into financial crises. Secondly, an emergency fund can significantly reduce stress during difficult times. When life throws you a curveball, the last thing you need is financial worries piled on top. Knowing you have a buffer to cover emergency expenses allows you to focus on navigating through the situation rather than panicking about how you're going to pay for it. Thirdly, an emergency fund gives you a level of financial independence. It means you're not reliant on credit cards, loans, or help from family and friends to bail you out when things go wrong. You're in control of your own financial destiny. Now, let's talk about avoiding debt. Without an emergency fund, you may have to rely on credit cards, loans, or other borrowing methods to cover unexpected costs. This can lead to a cycle of debt, as you're not just dealing with the initial expense, but also interest rates and possibly fees. An emergency fund allows you to sidestep this issue. When an unexpected cost arises, you can dip into your fund rather than borrowing and accruing debt. So, in essence, an emergency fund is your financial bodyguard, your stress relief, your ticket to independence, and your shield against debt. It's that important buffer between you and life's unexpected financial challenges. Remember, an emergency fund is not a luxury, it's a necessity. It's your ticket to peace of mind, knowing that you're prepared for whatever financial surprises life might throw your way. Now, a question that often arises is, how much money should be in my emergency fund? Well, the answer is, it depends. It's not a one-size-fits-all situation. The sum you should aim to save largely depends on your income, expenses, and financial obligations. Let's break it down. First, look at your income. If it's steady, you may feel comfortable with a smaller emergency fund. However, if your income fluctuates, you might want to stash away a bit more to cover those leaner months. Next, consider your expenses. These include your rent or mortgage, utilities, groceries, transportation costs, and other necessities. A good rule of thumb is to aim for 3 to 6 months' worth of expenses in your emergency fund. This can provide a safety net if you were to suddenly lose your income. Finally, take into account your financial obligations. If you're supporting a family, have significant debt, or are facing potential large expenses, you'll want a more robust emergency fund. Here's a tip: start small and gradually build your emergency fund. Even if you can only set aside a small amount each month, it's a step in the right direction. Remember, It's not about how much you start with, but rather making consistent contributions to grow your fund over time. In the end, having any amount set aside for emergencies is better than having none. So start today, and give yourself the peace of mind that comes with financial security. Now that you understand what an emergency fund is and why it's important, it's time to start saving. Starting your own emergency fund might seem like a daunting task, but remember, it's never too late to begin. Whether you're 20 years old or 50, starting today can make a significant difference in your financial security. Every penny you save brings you one step closer to financial independence and peace of mind. You don't need to save a huge sum overnight. The key is consistency. Even a small amount set aside each month can grow into a substantial safety net over time. So why not start today? Set a goal, create a plan, and take the first step towards a more secure future. Remember, in the world of finance, every little bit helps. If you found this video helpful, kindly hit the like button. And for more empowering financial content, please follow and subscribe. Stay financially savvy.